Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Limpin Vishum. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 9th of March. Pakistan court upholds death penalty of Salman Taseer's killer. Zia should be punished for murder of innocents, says Hasina. And fresh snow attracts tourists to northern India. And now for all the details. A Pakistani court has upheld the death penalty of Mumtaz Qadri, the assassin of former Punjab Governor Salman Taseer. The Islamabad High Court on Monday rejected the plea of Qadri, challenging his capital punishment awarded by a lower court. Qadri, the former bodyguard of Taseer, was convicted to death in 2011 for killing the former governor. Taseer was shot dead by Qadri outside his home in Islamabad for his criticism of Pakistan's blasphemy law. He had also courted controversy by meeting Asiya Bibi, a Christian woman accused of blasphemy, in jail. Qadri, who confessed of killing Taseer, was deemed a hero by radicals, with even lawyers showering him with rose petals when he was produced in court. Narendra Modi will become the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Sri Lanka in 28 years. The Premier is scheduled to begin a visit to the Indian Ocean countries later this week. The tour is aimed at strengthening India's position in the region amid a growing influence of China.
Indian Foreign Ministry on Monday said Prime Minister Narendra Modi will begin his three-nation tour with Sri Lanka on Friday. He is also scheduled to travel to Seychelles and Mauritius for the later part of his visit. During his 2 days in Colombo, Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to meet his counterpart Ranil Wickremesinghe, President Maithripala Sirisena, and address the Sri Lankan Parliament. Modi, who will hold talks with Tamil political parties in Sri Lanka, will also visit Jaffna, the stronghold of the linguistic minority. This will be the first visit of an Indian Prime Minister to the area. India is expected to announce a credit line to Sri Lanka for infrastructure and development projects and expand its support to military training. Indian Foreign Ministry said the visit is aimed at strengthening the bilateral relations in various fields.
I think we are looking at strengthening economic cooperation, discussing trade, discussing investments, both ways. We are looking at scaling up development cooperation, and particularly in infrastructure and rehabilitation. Politically, I think we clearly want to promote and encourage the reconciliation process, support democracy and reform, and we do want to expand our people-to-people contacts, including tourism, travel between the two countries.
Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, who was in the island nation last week, met the top political leadership of Sri Lanka ahead of the prime ministerial visit. A number of topics, including the issue of fishermen, came up in the discussions. Swaraj urged the Sri Lankan Prime Minister to see the issue in a humanitarian manner.
In the discussion with the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, she did raise the matter regarding the issues relating to Indian fishermen. She explained our view that the issue of fishermen is a humanitarian issue, it is an issue of livelihood, it is an issue of lifestyle, and it is not an issue which is comparable to anything else, because these are unique ties between the two countries.
According to reports, Prime Minister Modi was also scheduled to visit Maldives, which has however not been confirmed by the Indian authorities so far. The visit to the island archipelago was reportedly cancelled following the political development in Malé after the arrest of former President Mohammad Nasheed last month. Nasheed's Maldivian Democratic Party had also urged the Indian Prime Minister to cancel his visit.
Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has blamed rival and opposition leader Begum Khalida Zia for the ongoing political murders in the country. She also vowed a strict crackdown on the continued opposition-led violence.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was speaking on the occasion to mark the anniversary of Bangladesh's founding father Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's speech in 1971, which inspired the Liberation War. She said former Prime Minister Khalida Zia will be held accountable for her crimes.
খালেদা জিয়া খালি দুর্নীতির মামলা না, আজকে খুনের মামলাও তার বিরুদ্ধে দেওয়া হয়েছে, হুকুমের আসামি সে। কাজে এই দেশের মানুষের রক্ত নিয়ে যারা খেলছে তাদের যাদের শাস্তি বাংলার মাটিতে হবেই হবে, একজন খুনির যে শাস্তি সেই শাস্তি একদিন তাকে পেতে হবে। জঙ্গি সন্ত্রাসী এদের কোনো ক্ষমা নাই, কারণ বাংলাদেশ জঙ্গিদের দেশ না, বাংলাদেশ একটা শান্তিপূর্ণ দেশ হবে।
Prime Minister Hasina's remarks came after she narrowly survived an attempt on her life in Dhaka earlier in the day. Several crude bombers went off in Karwan Bazaar area of the capital barely half-hour after her convoy passed through it, injuring one security personnel. The attack also comes at a time when the country is going through a series of shutdowns for over 2 months. So far, more than 115 people, mostly civilians, have been killed in the BNP-led opposition violence.
The Pakistan Army has begun registration of the internally displaced people or IDPs to enable their return back home in a phased manner. An estimated 150,000 families have been displaced by the military operations in North Waziristan and the Khyber agencies since last year.
The Pakistan Army's pledge to begin the return of IDPs has come as a welcome move for hundreds of thousands of refugees. The repatriation process is set to begin on March 16th and the displaced people will return to their homes from next month, government reports confirmed. The registration process, which began on Sunday in South Waziristan, will go until Wednesday, with each family receiving monetary help. Locals had to move out of the trouble-torn region after the Pakistan Army launched a massive offensive against the Taliban and other terror outfits in the country's lawless tribal areas in June last year. The Operation Zarb-e-Azb in the regions of North and South Waziristan, along with the Khyber agency, killed over 1,200 militants, army reports claim. The crackdown also left nearly the tribesmen stranded as army jets pounded their homes in an effort to clear the strongholds of the Taliban. The IDPs who migrated to nearby provinces have been living in refugee tents ever since.
Afghanistan's Sufi order continues to remain under shock after a gruesome attack on its center in capital Kabul left 6 people dead over the weekend.
The Khanaqah, or the Sufi Muslim meeting house in Kabul, was stormed by gunmen during the evening prayers on Saturday. While 5 people were wounded, those killed included a local Sufi leader. The police have made 5 arrests in connection with the attack so far. Many community members, however, said the death toll was much more.
جناب آقا صاحب با جمع کثیری از مریدای خود به سر نماز شام بودند. در رکعت دوم مردم ناشناس آمدند و بالایشان فایر کردند. به تعداد 11 نفر به شهادت رسیدند.
The area around the mosque remained condoned off following the rare shooting. Afghanistan has seen several incidents of attacks on mosques in its long-running conflict, but the latest attack was the first of its kind on a Sufi spiritual center. The ancient Sufi order, which has millions of followers across South Asia, is revered among mainstream Muslims for its mystical practices and non-violent teachings. Saturday's attack came hours after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani pledged of pursuing peace efforts with the Taliban in the parliament.
India's anti-graft crusader Anna Hazare announced of undertaking a long-foot march against the land acquisition bill. The veteran social activist held meetings on Monday to chalk out an action plan. A report.
Taking cue from the historic Dandi March led by Mahatma Gandhi, Anna Hazare is also set to undertake a 683 miles long foot march. The anti-corruption campaigner held meetings with farmers in western Maharashtra on Monday to work out the details of the march against the amendments made in the land acquisition bill. The march is scheduled to begin from Gandhi Ashram at Sevagram and will conclude at the Ramlila Maidan in capital New Delhi. Though the dates are yet to be finalized, it is expected to take around 3 months to cover the long distance. Expressing displeasure over the bill, Hazare said a voluntary arrest campaign will also be initiated at the end of the march.
किस लिए करना जेल भरो? तो आज जो आप भूमि अधिग्रहण बिल ला रहे हैं, ये पूंजीपति का भलाई का बिल है, उसको हटाओ, उसको वापस ले लो.
The land acquisition bill, brought as an ordinance, amends the existing law passed by the former UPA regime in 2013. The new bill under the ruling BJP government has removed the need for obtaining the consent of landowners in carrying out social economic assessment for acquiring land under certain categories.
Pakistan government has begun a mass biometric verification of mobile phone users. This is aimed at curbing the misuse of telecom connections by militant groups and criminals.
Pakistani authorities plan to collect the details including biometric verification of all mobile phone users in the country as a part of its latest initiative. According to reports, the Pakistan Telecommunication Authority has so far verified the details of 72 million users. Connections of nearly 10 million users who failed to produce proper documents have been terminated. Authorities said the drive is meant to stop the misuse of the SIM cards.
At the end of this process, we believe that the whole SIMs that are the active SIMs that will be in use could be traced to a user, and the reason is that everyone has to come and get their biometrics verified, which is the fingerprint system. So we hope that this will be beneficial in many ways. The first thing is that the wrong use of the SIMs would be curtailed.
Pakistan government announced the crackdown on unregistered mobile users following the Peshawar Army School attack in December. According to the new directive, fingerprints of all new connection holders will be taken and an individual can only have 2 connections. Pakistan has an estimated 140 million active mobile connections, with many using multiple SIM cards. Investigations into many high-profile terror cases in Pakistan have also revealed that the militants had organized the attacks using connections obtained by forged documents.
The fresh spell of snowfall has turned India's northern Himalayan stretch into a blanket of white cover, inviting tourists to throng the valley. Take a look.
India's northern states are a sight to reckon. The picturesque valley is a sheet of thick white snow, calling many to pack their bags and enjoy the nature's beauty. Himachal Pradesh witnessed an unseasonal spell of snow recently, causing a sharp drop in the mercury. Despite the state recording temperatures as low as 1.7 degrees Celsius, it couldn't deter the spirits of tourists who found it the best time to enjoy the rare snow this season. Those flocking the hilly town of Kufri were filled with joy.
हम अमृतसर से आए हैं, तो कुफरी देखने के लिए आए हैं. बहुत अच्छा लगा यहाँ का माहौल, यहाँ की बर्फ. इतनी ज़्यादा बर्फ डला हुआ है. इतनी बर्फ हमने पहले कभी नहीं देखी.
Hoteliers and locals were all smiles as the fresh snowfall ended the dry spell in their business.
हमारे टाइम्स जब से भी लेकर टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री जुड़ी हुई है यहाँ पे, जैसे हॉर्स वाले हैं, यूनियन गाड़ी वाले हैं, सन 90 के बाद मार्च में बर्फ़ गिरी है, काफ़ी समय के बाद बर्फ़ गिरी है और हमारा बिजनेस भी अच्छा चलेगा. कारोबार जैसे स्कीइंग है, घोड़े वाले हैं, फोटोग्राफर है, टैक्सी वाले हैं, तो इससे 10-15 दिन तक बढ़िया जैसे बर्फ़ गिरी है, 5-6 फुट बर्फ़ है यहाँ पे गिरी हुई है, तो अच्छा आनंद लेंगे.
A fresh bout of snowfall also left many enthralled in northern Jammu and Kashmir. An intense cold wave has gripped the valley, which received the season's heaviest snowfall over the weekend. Locals said the fresh snow would be a solution for several problems in the region.
जो हमें फ्यूचर में देखना होता है, फसल या पावर या कुछ पानी की जो प्रॉब्लम्स होती है, तो हमें उनका सामना करना पड़ता है फिर.
The snowfall in the Himalayan belt has also unleashed sudden rains across the northern plains of India, bringing down temperatures. Met officials have said the mercury will continue to dip for few more days due to strong velocity ice winds lashing throughout the region.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Pakistan court upholds death penalty of Salman Taseer's killer. Zia should be punished for murder of innocents, says Hasina. And fresh snow attracts tourists to northern India. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.